Hi, this is Mr. Giansante. In this Alice lesson, I'll be showing you how to move an object along a path. For this example, I'm going to use a mummy object and I'll have it patrolling an area in a rectangle. You can use any shape you want as long as you map out your grid and all the different steps. So for my rectangle, the mummy will start in position 1 and they will move 1 meter at a time until position 8, where they'll turn a quarter turn left up to position 10. When they get to position 10, they'll turn a quarter turn to the left all the way up to 17, again a quarter turn to the left, and then back to 1. They're going to keep doing this patrolling motion in a rectangle until they get killed. So I'll have a variable that will keep track of whether that mummy is alive or not. Let's go to Alice and see what the code looks like. So I've already added the mummy object to my world, and I've added a few commands here to make the camera have a bird's eye view of this game. So we'll be looking top down. From the mummy object, the first thing I'm going to do is create a variable, and it will keep track of the mummy's position. And it will be a number variable, and it will start off in position 1. I'm also going to create another variable for the mummy to say whether that mummy is alive or not. So I'll say alive. This will be true or false, so it'll be a boolean, and the mummy will initially start off as alive. I'm now going to create a method for the mummy's motion. I'll call this method patrol, and I'll make sure that when the world starts, this method starts. Mummy patrol. So what I want to do is I want the mummy to move infinitely, so I will do a loop infinity times. However, once the player kills the mummy, I don't want the mummy to keep moving. So what I can do in here is I can have an if statement. Remember that I had a variable of whether the mummy was alive or not, so I can drag this variable here. If alive is equal to true, then I will do this code. So what I want to do is have the mummy move forward 1 meter. I then also need to increment the mummy's position. If they were in position 2 and they move forward 1 meter, they're now in position 2. Now, I need to worry about the 4 corners, which were 8, 10, 17, and 1. So the first one I want to do is if the mummy's position is equal to position 8, I need to turn that mummy 1/4 turn to the left. It's going to be the exact same code for position 10 and 17. So I'm simply going to make a copy of this, change this number to 10. I'm going to make another copy, change this number to 17. And finally, the last thing we have to think about is when the mummy is in position 18, we want it to go back to position 1. However, if I increment this variable after 18, it goes up to 19. So we're going to have a little trick here. I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to say if it gets to 19, I'm going to turn them left, but I'm also going to set that variable back to 1 because really there is no position 19. So set it back to position 1. Let's press play and see what that looks like. You can see the variable position updating over here. (19) and then it resets to 1, and it keeps going. I haven't put any code to kill the mummy, but if that variable ever got set to false, then none of this code would happen because it would get caught in this if statement here. Down below here, you could have a check to see if the mummy hits the player and have some kind of animation for game over.